Imagine a child vanishing in plain sight, her absence unnoticed for nearly a month. In Washington, D.C., in 2014, 8-year-old Relisha Rudd disappeared from a homeless shelter. What happened to her is not just a mystery, it's an indictment of the systems meant to protect her. Relisha Rudd was born on October 29, 2005. By the age of 8, she was living with her mother, Shamika Young, and siblings at the D.C. General Homeless Shelter, a former hospital converted into housing for hundreds of families. The shelter was overcrowded, underfunded, and often criticized for unsafe conditions. Yet for Relisha, it was home. Teachers described her as bright and curious, a child who loved school. But beneath the surface, her life was marked by instability, poverty, and vulnerability. This wasn't just a shelter, it was a maze of neglect. And inside that maze, Relisha met a man who would change everything. That man was Kalal Tatum, a shelter janitor with a criminal past. He befriended Relisha's family, offering gifts and outings that seemed harmless at first. To a child living in scarcity, his attention felt like kindness, but in reality, it was grooming. On March 1, 2014, surveillance footage captured Relisha entering a hotel room with Tatum. That image would become the last confirmed sighting of her alive. A convicted felon, a vulnerable child, and a city full of cameras, yet no one noticed she was gone. Relisha stopped attending school. Days turned into weeks. Shockingly, it took 30 days before her absence triggered alarm. 30 days in which evidence could vanish, witnesses could forget, and leads could grow cold. By the time police were notified, Relisha had already slipped through the cracks. 30 days. Ask yourself, how does a child disappear for a month before anyone raises the alarm? The search for Relisha quickly spiraled into tragedy. Investigators discovered Tatum's wife dead in a motel room, murdered by Tatum. Days later, Tatum himself was found dead from suicide. With him died the most direct link to Relisha's fate. Despite exhaustive searches of parks, rivers, and abandoned buildings, Relisha was never found. The man who held the answers was gone. But the questions remained. They still haunt Washington today. Relisha's disappearance exposed glaring failures. The shelter lacked oversight. The school system flagged her absences but failed to act quickly. Agencies operated in silos, each assuming someone else was responsible. Advocates argued that if Relisha had been white, her case might have received more immediate national attention. Instead, her story became another example of how missing black children are often overlooked. Relisha's case isn't just about one child, it's about the silence surrounding thousands of missing black children. Years later, her name still echoes in Washington. Vigils are held annually. Advocacy groups like the Black and Missing Foundation continue to spotlight her case. In 2023, a docuseries titled The Vanishing of Relisha Rudd, a cold case re-examined, reignited public interest, urging viewers to submit tips and remember the child behind the headlines. Relisha would be 20 years old today. Instead, she is frozen in time forever. 8. Forever missing. Relisha Rudd should have grown up. She should have had birthdays, friendships, and a future. Instead, she became a symbol of systemic neglect. Her story forces us to ask, how many children are invisible until it's too late? Relisha's name must not fade, because when a city can lose a child, it can also choose to find her if it decides to try.